One. Mortgage Alliance. Yay! Hey, thanks very much for joining us on Mac TV. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch our show. We're going to be relatively quick today because we have a special guest that we like to call New Gabe. So right here is New Gabe. Come on in to make sure you're close by. Say hi, New Gabe.
How are you?
It's actually his name's really Nero, but I like New Gabe.
All right, that works.
So anyway, thanks very much for watching. We got a really great show. Today we're going to get to know Nero a little bit. He's a really cool guy. He used to work for MPC. So he probably recognizes some of the names of people around here. So I'm really excited to be working with him. I cannot believe it's November already. 2018 is almost gone. Right? Almost gone. If you'd asked me 20 years ago if I would have lived to see 2018, I probably would have thought maybe not. 2018 is gone. Anyway, we got a couple of interesting announcements. The conference was great. It was a lot of fun. It was really nice seeing all the brokers from across the country, all the Mortgage Alliance brokers from across the country who came, plus seeing some old friends. The M3 Innovation Lab, I think, was a big success at the trade show, and the party we had for all the brokers was off the hook. It was great. How did you like being at a conference? This is like your first time on the other side of the fence, right? So how was that?
I love the lack of stress I had. Before, being on the host side, you're always on high gear, but to come as an attendee, I got to enjoy a lot more and to really network and get to know some of the brokers, even our own brokers that remembered me from the NPC, but didn't even realize that I had joined the family. So that was nice to introduce myself. So I had a really good time on that side of things.
That's awesome. Actually, I saw New Gabe having a really good time. I think I was coming back to the hotel around 3 o'clock one night, and there was Nero falling out of a cab. I don't know.
Not true.
All right, I was trying to start a rumor. Anyway, Holiday Gala's coming up. Again, I can't believe it. It's going to be December 8th. We're doing a Monte Carlo Casino night. This thing sells out fast, so if you're interested in getting a ticket, make sure you register now. It's the Toronto Airport Hilton. All proceeds are going to the Canadian Cancer Society. It's a wonderful, wonderful evening. The ladies look amazing, and the guys, I want to see you wearing your tuxedo. This year we're doing things a little bit differently. Everybody that goes is getting a $25 credit to use for the silent auction, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And remember, contact Krista Mitchell, and contact Krista Mitchell quickly if you intend on going, because this thing sells out really, really well. I'm very excited about the home and auto insurance program that we're rolling out. You're going to be getting more information about this later today. But one of the things that makes it really, really neat is the fact that we're also getting a 15% discount on our home and auto for the new program, exclusively for Mortgage Alliance agents. And it's going to be going out later on this afternoon. So excited about that. You can save your customers, hundreds of dollars by giving them something that they're going to need. Everybody that buys a house, everybody that refinances a house, everybody who has a mortgage on a house is going to need some insurance. So they can either go find it themselves, or you can help them find it. My suggestion: help them find it. It's another little touch point, another way of serving your customers, another way of making their lives a little easier. And by the way, you get to make a few bucks on this as well. I think it's $70 and $140, but in BC it's a little bit different because it's a referral only, and I think it's like $50 for everybody you send through. But this is something that you should offer on every single mortgage that you have. And don't forget about the Creditor Life program we have. Creditor Life is becoming more and more of an issue, and I think it has to do with E&O and other liabilities and other responsibilities that we have as a broker. Just think about this for a second. If somebody goes to Royal Bank and they get a bank mortgage at Royal Bank, right? 6 out of 10 times they're going to have Creditor Life insurance on that mortgage. Somebody goes to a broker, on average 8 out of 100 times they're going to get Creditor Life insurance. So we as an organization in serving our customers, we need to start talking to them about this product. And I know everybody's going to tell me, well, Creator Life's not the best product out there. Yeah, you know what? I know. Creator Life is not the best product out there. There's lots of different term and things that are much better for customers. But the thing you have to realize, most customers don't have insurance at all. So your responsibility while they're in your care is say, hey, you know what? You need to accept this. This is really important until you go and find something else. If they will, they will. If they won't, they won't. Even if you're referring them to an insurance broker, say, you need to take this until you go see Jane, and Jane has the right program for you. You're going to see much more effort on our part focusing on Creator Life Insurance. You're going to see things like a scale, where if you're below the company average, it's going to show you're at risk. I mean, you're because if something happens and we go to court and you're not the company average, or you're not, and it could be a problem for us. So we're trying to help you take care of it. Joe talks about the fact that there was a mortgage broker whose customers sued the broker because one of the homeowners passed away and they didn't have Creator Life Insurance, and they thought they didn't have Creator Life Insurance, and the broker said, when brought to court, is, well, none of my customers take Creator Life Insurance. They looked back through his portfolio and there was not one. The broker lost the case because the judge says, you're obviously talking people out of Creator Life Insurance. As professionals, we need to be careful how we conduct ourselves with consumers, and this is one of the ways. We're even thinking about, if people have a certain amount of Creator Life Insurance, we'll find a way to give you a discount as far as your E&O is concerned.
Yeah. It's a really good idea. Mm-hmm. There's the old adage, when it comes to insurance, people think that they don't need it until they do. And usually when insurance comes into play is when something bad happens. So would we ever want to be responsible for one of our clients being in a bad position because we didn't provide them with the options that they needed? So it's always good to keep in mind. And don't just offer it, but we have to believe it ourselves. If we believe that it's going to benefit the customer, well, then they're going to see that and they're going to believe it too.
Mm-hmm. And the longer you're in this business and the more deals you do, one of your customers is going to die. There's nothing you can do about it. So more and more important, we're structuring the product so it becomes easy as possible. They've reduced the minimums down to, I think, $300,000, and based on broker feedback, this is going to be a great product, easy for you to offer your customers. But just understand, it's an important thing that you really need to start thinking about. So is personal loans, and it becomes another way for you to become the credit specialist in your marketplace. Right? So get familiar, get signed up with Lenful and Borrowell and Fairstone, just so you have the option if you run into a customer that wants an unsecured loan or they want a secured loan for a smaller amount. It doesn't have to be a mortgage. You need to be the credit specialist. We're really excited about those programs, and they're going really, really well. Okay? But the reason we're here today is to find out a little bit more about Nero, a little bit more about Newgate. Now, the interesting thing about finding out a little bit more about people is sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't want to. I'm hoping this is one of the times that we really want to. Right? So Newgate, you've been a great addition to the Mortgage Alliance family, right?
Thank you.
And maybe you want to share with everybody how you came to join Mortgage Alliance.
Well, first of all, I've been familiar and worked with Mortgage Alliance for the last 9 years as a part of the Mortgage Professionals Association. And I had a really good working relationship with Melissa and Mike in the past. So when I got the opportunity to join the MAC family, it was really, it's a very easy decision to make, to join pretty much the leading brokerage in our industry who supports the National Association and who does so much work, and the quality of the brokers. I'm already learning. I've only been here for a short time, and I'm extremely excited to join and work with all of you. So my door is always open. To give you a little bit of background, I started off at TD. I was an FA. That was a long time ago, but then I joined the association for the last 9 years. I was in the membership department, member services, and I was the manager of member services. I was also the ethics investigator for the association as well. So that's where kind of my compliance hat came into play. And I've always wanted to get into this aspect of things on the broker side. So I'm very excited to be here, and we'll see what brings us here.
I think that's great. We've obviously known Nero because he's been upstairs for a number of years working with the association, and we thought, okay, this guy he fits with the family. Like he's smart, he cares about the industry, he's quirky, perfect fit. All right. So now that you've been here for a little while, and I mean you've got a pretty good overall vision of the brokerage industry because
Yes.
you've been working at the association for a while. What are the challenges and some of the opportunities that you see for mortgage brokers, especially in today's environment?
Well, I'm going to focus on one thing because it really relates to my role here, which is compliance. And one of the things that I've realized, or the challenges that the brokers have, is to keep up with the regulatory changes. Mm-hmm. It seems that in the last few years, across Canada, but when you look at Ontario and even BC, the documentation required for a mortgage deal on the broker side, it's getting more and more. And it doesn't seem like it's going to slow down. It's probably going to get more comprehensive. And that can be a challenge for brokers who in the past didn't have to worry about as much of that documentation, of that compliance. So to maintain or to make sure that we're compliant with the regulations of each province, it's going to take some time. And that's where, once again, the opportunity comes in as well, because as agents, as part of Mortgage Alliance, we have the opportunity then to increase that value proposition, to get a step above our competition, especially with the technology that we provide. It makes compliance easier when we package it for you, when it makes it easier for you to see what's required. And that's what I'd like to do as well in regards to creating tutorials, giving you the opportunity to get in touch with me. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Because once we are all on the same page, it's going to make it a lot easier. So some of the things that I've talked to you about is maybe a weekly email that goes out tackling different aspects of a mortgage deal and in relation to compliance, to make it easier for you to make sure to submit your deals and get them approved. And tutorials as well. As we're seeing now, private deals are becoming more and more common, and I've already received many phone calls from brokers who are doing a private deal for the first time, so they're looking for some direction, and I plan to have that available to everybody so they can look at it, they can see what goes into it, the documentation required, and then once again to get in touch with me as well so we can kind of learn together and make sure that we're all on the same page.
There's two areas that I see, and both of them you've touched on a little bit. We have a lot of bankers coming into the environment because they want to offer more choice and convenience to their customers, plus the fact they want to build their own business. Really, really valid reasons. But what we find is a lot more paperwork on this side. Right?
Exactly.
So, and we need to do whatever we can to make sure we can help them understand that. And the second part is private mortgages are now becoming a significant part of our business. And for the folks who've been doing it for years and years and understand it, no issue.
Exactly.
Right? They know what they're doing. They've specialized in this for a long time. But a lot of people, a lot of our brokers that haven't really been focused on privates are starting to find their way into that area right now. And that's one of the highest professional risk area for brokers, right?
Yeah, you have to be able to cross your T's and dot your I's, make sure you have all your documentation in place. And to that, Michael, our regulators, especially that's if we look at Ontario, Fisco is becoming more and more, what's the word I'm looking for? More diligent in reviewing files, in reviewing or auditing brokerages itself.
Well, they're more aware. Like all the regulators are more aware of the impact on the consumer.
Exactly.
So they're starting to keep an eye on what brokers are doing. So what can brokers expect from you in the coming months or in 2019?
Enhancements, really. John has left a great legacy where he had such a wonderful relationship with our brokers, and that's what I want to continue. I want to make sure that I'm here to help you maximize your business. Really, what we want to do here is to help you be successful. And even on the compliance side, that's extremely important. So I'd like to put things in place where I'm accessible to brokers and they have the information, so they're well equipped to go out there and be successful and get the most out of their business.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Just one thing I want to say in closing. The way it generally works is, if you call Nero before something happens, and you're asking what to do, what about this, what about this, what about this, that's a good thing. If Nero calls you, that's not such a good thing. So what's your cell phone number?
Forward.
I was trying to get it so you could block it, but it's okay. Just remember, if you got a question, rather than do something and get in trouble, if you got a question, just pick up the phone and
don't
call.
be afraid to ask. It really, asking questions is the best way to get the information you need.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. The last thing I have on here is really interesting. What is the 3 things that we should know about New Gabe?
I'm pretty boring, to tell you the truth. No, but one thing...
Old Gabe wasn't boring.
No, certainly not. I got to tell you that, okay? I'm not as light on my feet as John was. Just letting you know off the top.
But he likes to dress up, I hear.
You'll see. Stay tuned and find out. 3 things. I'm a huge sports fan. I already have a few guys that I talk sports with, and when it comes to sports, it's not just one thing. I'll watch golf and tennis. I'm up at 4 a.m. watching cricket.
Oh yeah.
So that's one of my biggest passions, and obviously I like food. But my favorite food is Italian food. Can't go wrong with homemade gnocchi. So.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And finally, I may look a little scary, but I'm really not.
He's so cute. Thanks. So we're really happy that you're here, and look forward to great many years working with you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks. In closing, get your tickets for the gala. Right. Make sure you focus on insurance, credit or life insurance, home and auto insurance. You've got to be the person that's taking care of your customers. They're going to get this stuff anyway. You might as well give it to them. Right. Make sure you're signed up to offer their personal loans. And remember to join us next week. We have a special Mac TV, and it's the Hub Show. As you guys know, the Hub's the central underwriting unit, does like hundreds of millions of dollars supporting brokers across the country. Make sure you tune in and watch. These guys really know what's going on in the mortgage industry all across the country. Thanks very much for watching. Remember, there's lenders, there's brokers, and Mortgage Alliance. And Mortgage Alliance is completely different because we got people like New Gabe.